So Man United losing that game to West Ham, big loss, big win for West Ham. They are trying to, float above the relegation zone. Huge result for them. Let's talk about this game in context of United's remaining games for the season. Two sides to the story. Those who believe that United have a tricky fixture list to end the season. Those who think that they'll be home and dry, they'll be fine, they'll win a couple more games, wrap up the season. Where do you stand on the two sides of those arguments?
The fixture list is very easy. I don't see what's tricky about it.
Fulham?
Not
taking points from Liverpool, almost took points from City. Wolves have become hard to break down.
At home, at Craven Cottage.
They have Chelsea to play.
Those are points at Craven Cottage. It wasn't away from home. I think Wolves, where they are on the table, it shows they are not as consistent. Again, away game, they are coming to Old Trafford. I think the reason I'm pointing this out is we are talking about a United team that has not beaten any team in the top 9 away from home. They've been very poor away from home. So it means that at home, they are making up the difference. They and Liverpool have been quite poor away from home. But at home, they get the results. And I think the fact that 3 of the remaining 4 games are at home is why I'm very confident that they'll make top 4. Because I just don't see them dropping points in those home games. And their one away game is Bournemouth. I think Bournemouth are a tricky side. They are, you never know which Bournemouth is going to turn up. But more often but on paper, I think that's a game United should be winning. I'll be more surprised if they don't pick up at least. I think the minimum they'll pick up is 8 points. That's my most pessimistic outlook, which is they draw 2 and they win 2. But I'm very convinced that they'll win at least 3, if not all 4 games. I think unless they keep making mistakes like they are making, where we have seen individual mistakes cost them the last 2 games.
Yeah.
And I don't expect that at home, though they won't have enough firepower to get them over the line. I feel like even if someone makes a mistake, there's still a goal or 2 or 3 for them in their home games. Because when I think of the teams they're also playing at home, you said Fulham. When you look at the teams they are playing for actually have nothing to play for, which is also very important. It means that extra, that willingness to go the extra mile.
Does Fulham need any motivation to play at Manchester United?
I mean,
small teams always get excited when they have to play big teams.
If it's the last day of the season, your Premier League status is secure. You're not challenging for Europe. There's not much to play for because you're just thinking, you know what, let's let this season and we come back. I don't want to get hurt. Because that's the truth. The players are not going to go 100%, knowing that there's a risk of injury, knowing that Manchester, and that's another thing. The teams they are playing, there's not much to play for. Chelsea, we don't know whether they'll actually turn up 100% and put their full 100%. Fulham, same. Wolves, same. Bournemouth, I think, are pretty much safe right now. So when I look at all of that, I put it all together. United have more motivation going into every game. They are playing at home, and they are better on paper than all of the teams they are playing. They should be able to get it done. I just don't see a situation where they don't pick up enough points to get top 4.
Coach, Suzu's made a point about United, worst case scenario, picking up 8 points. You share in this sentiment?
Worst case scenario, 9 points. Worst case.
You don't think the games are tricky?
No, what makes it tricky?
United have injuries. They have. It's not the same.
Look,
this is not a full
in the last
United
2 games.
team.
In the last 2 games that they've played, it's been individual errors that has cost the team.
Yeah.
Luke Shaw on Wednesday, after playing so well, in the 90-something minutes, in the last meaningful attack of the game, he was doing this. Would he do that again? No. David De Gea today, United will not be where they are without David De Gea. Would he make such a mistake like he did today? Obviously not. And Soso said something which is very, very true. Even if there will be individuals' errors. For the fact that United have 3 games at Old Trafford, I say it is home and dry. To Liverpool, to all those Liverpool, including you yourself, who think that...
I don't know what you're talking about.
Including you yourself, who think that United all of a sudden...
I have no idea what you're
will
talking
blow
about.
it. And Liverpool just come from a big... I mean, look, it is very shocking to me. Look, let's call a spade a spade. No team was awarded any point at the beginning of the season. We all find ourselves where we are as teams based on the output we've given throughout the season. United will not only beat Wolverhampton at home. You see, I was telling Susu when we were on our way here that Man United have played so many games. So if you watch them, over a month now, where they have to play midweek, weekend, they tend to struggle in the second half. But thankfully, there's no midweek game for United. So the players we saw today are going to rest for at least 6 days. When I say 6 days, they are going to train all right. There will be no intensive sort of football games to exert them further. So Wolverhampton coming to Old Trafford, it's a foregone conclusion. We'll beat them.
Will Lopez agree?
Oh,
they've been solid since he came in.
No, I think he's a good coach.
He's a good coach.
But that's why I mentioned the
And we
motivation.
saw him.
That's why I've also mentioned.
They don't concede as many goals.
But that's also I mentioned the motivation. This is a team
What
that
are they
is
going to play for?
They have exactly.
Look, let them come to Old Trafford. They can come there with the best of motivation. They'll get beat. As for Chelsea, you see, they will have to play Nottingham Forest. Then after playing Nottingham Forest, when they come to the city of Manchester, they will not go back to London. You understand? They will come to the city of Manchester and go to Etihad. Minimum 4, Ayoko. From Etihad straight to the Theatre of Dreams. Minimum 3, Ayele. Ayoko plus Ayele is Ajete 7. So that is who they are. That is what Chelsea are as we speak. So as to why the Liverpool people think that all of a sudden Chelsea will do them a favor, Fulham will do them a favor, Wolverhampton will do them a favor. You see, whatever Liverpool were to do, they don't have their destiny in their hands. Ben, as a true Liverpool fan, if I ask you, Liverpool situation and United situation, which one will you prefer?
Oh, I definitely prefer the United situation.
So the case died.
That is the case.
No, I have to be, and we are talking about the chances of Chelsea beating United, and Kwame Safoso on radio has mentioned momentum, that okay, they've got a win now, their momentum is building up. They still went 5
they
games.
want to finish the season on the high.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They went 5 games that losing. They've
They will
won
finish
1
the
now.
season at the high after playing Man City, play United, and play Newcastle. Finish on the high and let's see.
So, if they are able to get a win against Nottingham Forest,
Yeah.
which is very likely because Nottingham Forest are one of the worst away teams in the league. Let's say they go to Man City, have a decent game, do something interesting, maybe lose 1-0, maybe even draw. It's all within the realms of possibility. If that's the form they are coming into the United game with, that changes their calculus. I can say, okay, now it's a tricky fixture. But based on their current form, as we speak today, it is not a tricky fixture because they've not shown anything that makes me think they are capable of causing Man United serious problems. That's why I'm just looking at the teams now. None of them is showing that. And like I said, mentally, at this stage of the season,
Did you think that West Ham would get a result today?
yeah, I did. Do you remember I said
he
this?
said
Do you remember I said it on
he
Sports
said that he
Panorama?
expect
I
West
said
Ham
it.
to
I
Because
said
they
it was
have
a
the
tricky game.
motivation of avoiding relegation.
Not even that. I was saying that if you look at United's results against the top 10 teams in the league away from home, I would consider West Ham a top 10 team despite where they are on the table because
Fair
of their
enough, fair
quality
enough.
and that. Look, they're in a European semi-final. They're not there by chance. They have earned being
right to
there.
be there.
And they've played well in Spurs this season.
Yeah.
They have quality players. So the result didn't shock me. I think I'm more shocked that the way the results came about, that
Exactly.
it was a kind of
A holler
but
from
even
the
then, they
goalkeeper.
created a few chances later on. They had a goal. They had 2 goals disallowed. So they were putting pressure on United. It's not like they were playing so well that, okay, they should have won the game. But they showed their quality. So for me, West Ham was always going to be the most difficult game of their last few games. I could tell. So
There's the conversation about David De Gea. I think we'll talk about that after we take our break here. A lot of noise about him. Is he a ball-playing goalkeeper? Is he a modern-day goalkeeper? Like Coach said, he saved United in a lot of games. You can ask Liverpool fans. There have been a lot of Liverpool-United games that have been decided by the leg of David De Gea. Is it time to move on from that? A lot to chew on when we come back from the break. Stay with us here on Scorecard. Welcome back. This is Scorecard here on Citi TV. I'll be getting to a few of your messages in a bit. But let's talk about David De Gea. I just checked my social feed, and he is trending #1 on Twitter with over 100,000 tweets. Wow. I'm not sure how this happened, but it looks like every now and then, what you expect to be smaller errors gets magnified. Is that what we are seeing with De Gea? Does he have a legitimate case, or is there a legitimate case for fans and like even United technically to take a second look at him?
I've felt they should move on from him. And my point is that I think as a ball-playing goalkeeper, I think where we are going in the modern game, if you're a top team, you need a ball-playing goalkeeper. And I don't think he fits that bill.
You think every top team needs to play from the back?
I think every top team does. I don't see any. There's very few top coaches who don't do it. It's maybe in certain games they might decide to go long, but more often than not, teams want to build from the back. And I think based on that, and that's what Ten Hag seems to want to do, because you have a coach, that's what he wants to do. And I think because of that, they should probably move on from him. And I think coach raised a point whilst we're not on air, but that the cost of a keeper maybe is a bit prohibitive right now. That if you want a keeper,
does a ball-playing goalkeeper need to be expensive?
well, if you want one who's also going to be a great shot stopper, you want, because if you are Manchester United, you want to challenge for the Premier League, you want to challenge for the Champions League, etc. You need to buy a top keeper. And if you look at other positions in their squad, I think they can get by with De Gea for maybe next season, maybe 2 seasons. But I think it should end after that. I think after a while, you have to move on. I think he's a great shot stopper. I'll give him that. But I think because of his kind of ball playing and stuff, he makes more errors than he should. He's leading the league in errors leading to goals this season with 4. So the stats say he's cost them more than any player. He's cost the team more than any other player. But I wouldn't even count today. Every keeper has mistakes when stopping shots. I wouldn't even say today is part of the bigger issue. I wouldn't count today's mistake as part of my issues with him. I think the ball playing, and there were moments where he kind of mispassed and that kind of stuff. It happens. But I think if you are going to play out from the back, it's difficult to have David De Gea as your keeper. So if that's the direction Ten Hag wants to go, he has to go. And that's what it is. If you are okay with his ball playing as it is, and you are judging him on his ability to stop shots, claim crosses and that kind of stuff, I think he does those things well enough. I think, and the shot stopping is elite. It's some of the best in the world. His crossing and his sweeper actions, they are okay. They are acceptable. I think that's fine. But the one weakness he has for me is playing out from the back.
Let me just stay with you before I go to coach. If United are to get a ball-playing goalkeeper that fits their stature as a club, what are their options?
Well, you would have to look. Let me think about it. Because that's the thing. You have to also look at someone. You also have to look at their age. You don't want to buy someone too old because it becomes a short-term solution. So you have to look at Diego Costa, Mike Maignan, keepers in that category.
Those are expensive.
Exactly. They are going to be expensive options. So if you are looking at a team and you're thinking to yourself that, okay, we need a striker, because they do need a striker. Let's say you have 150 million. That striker is going to cost you like 80. That's already half your budget gone. And before you're going to have to reinforce other positions, will you have enough to buy a top quality keeper? Because for me, if you're buying a keeper, you might as well buy one of the best, which is what Liverpool did with Alisson. They spent 80 million, one of the better keepers in the world, and it's paid off for them. So I think that's another thing. If you are going to make the signing, it has to be a signing that's right, a signing that will last you 7-10 years. So those are the considerations. So for me, I think David De Gea needs to be upgraded, but I can also understand why that might not be the right decision at this time. But I think overall, if you want to play from the back, he's not the keeper for you.
Coach, clearly you cannot ignore 4 errors leading to goals as a goalkeeper. You are leading the league. You are leading your team. You can't sweep it under the carpet.
You also cannot underlook the fact that he has the most clean sheet in the league. Right now, if the league were to end, he takes home the Golden Gloves. That speaks volumes of the goalkeeper we are talking about. You see, you talk about he trending on social media as number 1. It's simply because he's not British. That is why he's trending as number 1.
You think there's a deliberate agenda against him?
There has been a deliberate... Look, have they ever magnified the error of Maguire before? Just on Thursday, Luke Shaw was making something that...
Volleyball.
Look, any player in his right frame of mind at that moment would never think about doing. How many times did you get them talk about it? Oh, he played well. He was very good. He was very good. Then they just, sweep under the carpet. Look, I will not sit here and say David De Gea has not cost United. But I also look at the goalkeeper. You see, he's a legend of the club. Is he performing as a goalkeeper? Yes, he is performing as a goalkeeper. There will come a time he will make mistakes. And like Ten Hag said, individual mistakes are not things that you can dwell upon so much as a coach. Because you clearly know that that player who makes that individual error will be craving the next opportunity to do what? To fix it. Would he be in goal against Wolverhampton? Yes. Will he be in goal in the FA Cup final against Man City? Yes. And these are the, look, for example, in the FA Cup final, if United were to stand any chance of winning that game, we need David De Gea to have one of his real, true color days. Please don't blow this thing out of position. Now, let's look at what United need as we speak.
Yeah.
That position is not so delicate a position to be solved now. If you look at what this team needs, this team needs proper depth. Proper depth include the goalkeeping position. A goalkeeper that will come and challenge. If United have got the money, I will agree with Susu that if the budget is about £500 million, I'll be the first person to say, look, you've been a legend. You've been here for more than 10, 12 years.
Yeah. Let's get a more
keeper
younger who fits the style.
And my
of play of
first
the
choice is the Porto goalkeeper.
He's 22 years, I think.
23
Diego Costa,
years.
22.
And that's the same thing they did when they bought De Gea.
That's it.
Around
He was
that age.
actually bought at
There's
18
actually a
years.
goalkeeper at Valencia I think United might like. He's
Yes,
Georgian
Georgian.
Mamadashvili.
Yeah, he's about 24
19.
years.
No, he's even younger. He's 19 years.
Yes.
Valencia's goalkeeper. and
Yeah,
he's
I hear
a
they've
lefty
spoken
as well.
about. Yeah, they've spoken about him too, but it has to do with the budget. Now, United has the least goal conversion rate. They are 16th when it comes to converting chances. That tells you you need to spend big
On a striker.
on a striker. United, after the injuries to Varane and Martinez,
Yeah.
are more or less playing somebody who should be dominating at left back,
At centre back.
at centre back. With a 80 million centre back sitting on a bench, not even being given a look, deservedly so. Then when you move into midfield, when you take off Carlos Casemiro,
He doesn't have a backup.
he doesn't have a backup. So the goalkeeping thing is not an urgent problem that needs fixing urgently. It's not. So don't blow it out of proportion. Look, I have seen David De Gea made saves that took my breath away. Can you count the number of times he's done that? You've lost count over the past 12 years. You've lost count of it. I'm not going to sit here to back him or to support him or to applaud him for the error today. I'm not going to sit here and do that. By his very high standard,
Yeah.
he should be saving that with cheeky ease. With cheeky ease. And you could see his reaction.
Yeah.
He knew he was at fault. So quickly, let's sweep it under the carpet.
Move on from it.
United is not winning. They stand no chance of winning the league. Sweep it. Don't dwell so much about that. Look at the bigger picture. There are 4 more games to be played. Do you need David De Gea in those 4 more games?
You do.
Yes, you do.
Let's see
sweep
how-
it and move on.
Let's see how that plays
And
out.
stop that non-British Maguire and Co. and Luke Shaw and Co. Look at my own Jadon Sancho, Rashford and Co. When they don't perform, do they
Nobody's-
trend as number 1? They don't. Stop that.
Interesting things going on with Manchester United. Let's get on to some other highlights. Like